If you secretly feel behind because everybody seems to understand investing except for you, then listen up because I'm going to explain the basics for the girls. If you're new here, I used to work in investment banking, so I couldn't really talk about personal finance. But now that I don't, I'm telling you everything that I wish women in their 20s knew about investing and finance. Also, I'm sorry, but can we take a second for the body glow? It looks so good today. Anyways, today we're going to start with the absolute basics of investing. Things that I feel like people are scared to ask about because they think they're going to sound dumb. First of all, there's no dumb questions, but second of all, if you don't understand this, you won't be able to do anything else. We're going to cover the stock market, stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds. Super fun. First and foremost, let's go through what the stock market actually is. It has a couple different names. Some people call it share market, financial market, just the market. It's really just a marketplace where you can buy and sell little tiny pieces of a company. Think of it like Sephora. You can go into Sephora and buy products from different brands. Same concept, but instead of buying a lipstick from a company, you're buying a little piece of the company itself. Next, we're going to double down and make sure you really understand what a stock actually is. A stock or a share is just one of those tiny pieces of a company that you can buy on the stock market. When you buy a stock or a share of a company, you now own a little tiny piece of that company. The next most common thing that people will tell you to invest in are something called ETFs. So let's go through what those actually are. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. I don't know why we keep making acronyms. It really doesn't need to be that complicated. Functionally, an ETF is just a basket of stocks. Use a Sephora analogy again because I feel like it kind of makes sense. Instead of going to Sephora and buying a product from an individual company, you can also go and buy a value pack that has a bunch of mini products from a bunch of different brands. It's the same concept with ETFs. Instead of spending your money on just one company, you're getting a smaller piece of a bunch of different companies. I should do a more detailed video on them specifically because there's a bunch of different types of them, but that is the concept overall. And last but not least, we have mutual funds, which I feel like confuse people because they're similar to ETFs, but they're not the same. The similarities it has with an ETF is it's that same bundle of companies. The difference is that it's managed by a person or a team and you can only trade them once a day. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. I feel like it would be like if you hired somebody to go personal shop for you at Sephora. It'd be more expensive because you have to pay that person to go pick your stuff for you. Also can't happen whenever you want because you have to organize that person doing it. In the same way, mutual funds have higher fees and you can only trade them once a day, so they're technically less liquid. Whereas an ETF is like shopping at Sephora on your own. You can go whenever you want and you don't have to pay that extra fee. In a nutshell, we've covered what the stock market is, what a stock is, what an ETF is, and what a mutual fund is. I feel like the next logical video is maybe we do an overview of the different types of investment accounts now that you know what goes inside. But let me know what you want to see. Let me know if you have any questions. And as always, this is education, not advice. I'm just doing this to give you guys the tools and the foundation to then go make the best decision for yourself. And it's also something I like talking about. So it's fun for me. Okay, see you next time. Bye.